Good morning, everyone. Today, I want to talk about something foundational to health and longevity: leg strength, specifically for those of you over the age of 60. Why? Because leg strength is not just about mobility. It's directly linked to independence, metabolic health, fall prevention, and even cognitive performance. First up is vitamin D3. Vitamin D3 plays a crucial role in maintaining neuromuscular coordination and activating fast twitch muscle fibers, both of which are essential for leg strength, balance, and mobility, especially in individuals over the age of 60. As the body ages, one of the first physiological systems to decline is the neuromuscular system. This system governs how efficiently the brain communicates with muscles to initiate movement, maintain posture, and react to changes in environment. Vitamin D3 acts at the intersection of this system, influencing both muscular and neurological components of physical performance. One of the main reasons D3 becomes critical with age is that the body's natural ability to synthesize it declines over time. The skin becomes less efficient at converting sunlight into vitamin D, and many older adults also spend less time outdoors, further limiting natural production. Dietary intake alone is rarely sufficient to meet the body's needs, and deficiency becomes increasingly common. Low vitamin D3 levels have been strongly associated with poor muscle function, increased fall risk, and decreased muscle mass, particularly in the lower limbs. In several clinical studies, individuals with adequate D3 levels demonstrated significantly greater muscle strength and better reaction time compared to those with low levels, even when their exercise routines were identical. Mechanistically, D3 influences muscle tissue directly. Skeletal muscle cells contain vitamin D receptors, and when D3 binds to these receptors, it triggers processes that improve muscle protein synthesis and enhance the efficiency of muscle contraction. This is particularly important for type 2 or fast twitch muscle fibers. These fibers are responsible for quick, explosive movements like rising from a chair, catching yourself when you trip, or climbing stairs. They tend to atrophy faster than slow twitch fibers during the aging process, leading to slower movement, instability, and a reduced ability to recover from imbalance or slips. Supplementing with D3 can help preserve and even re-engage these fast twitch fibers, making movements feel more stable, confident, and strong. Beyond the muscular impact, vitamin D3 also plays a critical role in neural function. It supports calcium regulation in neurons, aids in synaptic transmission, and helps maintain the integrity of motor neurons that control muscle contractions. In older adults, declining vitamin D levels have been linked to decreased nerve conduction velocity and impaired muscle control. Supplementing with D3 can enhance brain to muscle signaling, making muscle recruitment during movements quicker and more efficient. This is vital for preventing falls and maintaining reflexive strength, particularly during unexpected movements or directional changes. Several intervention studies have shown that D3 supplementation leads to measurable improvements in lower body strength and balance within weeks, particularly among those who were previously deficient. These improvements are not just biochemical. They translate into real-world benefits. Participants show greater walking speed, longer stride length, and better postural control, all of which are essential for maintaining independence. Importantly, the benefits of D3 are dose-dependent and most pronounced in individuals who begin supplementation with deficient or borderline low levels. While the optimal dose can vary, a range of 1,000 to 2 IU per day is commonly used in clinical settings, with higher doses administered under medical supervision in cases of significant deficiency. The second vitamin is vitamin B12. Vitamin B12 is essential for maintaining nerve health and preventing age-related muscle weakness, particularly in individuals over the age of 60. As we age, the nervous system begins to decline in both structure and function, leading to a host of symptoms including reduced balance, slower reaction times, and diminished muscle strength. Vitamin BA12 plays a critical role in supporting the nervous system by facilitating the production and maintenance of the myelin sheath, a protective coating that surrounds nerves and enables fast, efficient transmission of electrical impulses between the brain and the body. When B12 levels drop, this protective layer deteriorates, resulting in slower communication between nerves and muscles, ultimately leading to weakness, poor coordination, and increased risk of falls. The absorption of B12 also becomes less efficient with age. This is due in part to reduced levels of intrinsic factor, a protein in the stomach that binds to B12 and allows for its absorption in the small intestine. Additionally, older adults often experience reduced stomach acid, which is necessary to release B12 food sources such as meat, eggs, and dairy. This combination of factors makes B12 deficiency far more common in seniors, even if their diets are otherwise balanced. People following vegetarian or vegan diets are at even greater risk, as B12 is found almost exclusively in animal-based foods. The problem with B12 deficiency is that it can be subtle at first, manifesting as mild fatigue or tingling in the hands and feet. But over time, it can progress to significant nerve damage, muscle weakness, and cognitive changes. From a muscular standpoint, the connection between BB12 and leg strength lies in the neuromuscular junction. the interface where motor neurons transmit signals to muscle fibers to initiate contraction. Without adequate B12, these junctions begin to malfunction, leading to delays in signal transmission and reduced muscle responsiveness. This is particularly problematic in the lower limbs, where delayed or weak activation can result in stumbling, inability to climb stairs, or difficult standing from a seated position. In clinical settings, patients with B12 deficiency often present with lower body instability, foot drop, and generalized leg fatigue, even when muscle mass appears unchanged. What this suggests is that the issue is not with the muscles themselves, but with the nerve signals that activate them. This makes B12 supplementation a powerful tool for restoring function, not by building muscle directly, but by repairing the systems that control those muscles. Supplementing with B12, particularly in its methylcobalamin form, has been shown to significantly improve nerve function and reduce symptoms of peripheral neuropathy. Methylcobalamin is the bioactive form of B12 that is most readily utilized by the body, especially the nervous system. In aging adults, regular supplementation with this form of B12 has led to improvements in balance, faster gait speed, and greater confidence during walking and transitional movements. These functional gains are particularly important for preserving independence and reducing the risk of injury from falls. The effective dosage of B12 varies depending on individual needs and absorption capacity. For many seniors, oral supplementation of 500 to 1,000 micrograms per day is sufficient to maintain healthy levels, but in cases of significant deficiency or malabsorption, higher doses or intramuscular injections may be necessary. B12 is a water-soluble vitamin. The body typically excretes what it doesn't use, making supplementation generally safe even at higher levels. In practice, combining B12 supplementation with strength-building exercises and other neuro-supportive nutrients amplifies its effects, helping older adults regain both physical strength and neural efficiency in the lower body. Last but not least, vitamin K2, particularly the MK7 form. Vitamin K2, particularly in its MK7 form, plays a powerful yet often overlooked role in supporting both muscle energy efficiency and bone strength, which are essential for maintaining strong, functional legs in adults over 60. While vitamin K is commonly associated with blood clotting, K2 functions very differently from its K1 counterpart. It activates specific proteins that help direct calcium into the bones and away from arteries and soft tissues. This regulation of calcium is critical because as we age, calcium can begin to accumulate in places where it shouldn't, like arterial walls and joint spaces, leading to stiffness, poor circulation, and compromised mobility. By promoting calcium position in the skeletal system, K2 helps preserve bone density, structural integrity, and joint health, all of which are vital for lower body strength and overall physical resilience. In addition to its effect on bone metabolism, K2 exerts a significant influence on mitochondrial function within muscle cells. Mitochondria are the energy-producing units of cells, and their performance is directly tied to muscle endurance, power output, and recovery. As people get older, mitochondrial efficiency naturally declines, contributing to fatigue, reduced strength, and slower healing after physical exertion. Emerging research indicates that vitamin K2, especially the MK7 subtype, supports mitochondrial integrity by facilitating electron transport and reducing oxidative stress in muscle tissue. This enhancement in cellular energy translates into more powerful muscle contractions and better endurance during movement, particularly in weight-bearing activities involving the legs. For older adults, this means more sustained walking ability, greater balance, and more confidence navigating stairs or uneven surfaces. The legs contain some of the largest and most metabolically active muscles in the body, including the quadriceps, hamstrings, and glutes. These muscles demand high amounts of energy and rely on coordinated neural and vascular support to function properly. K2 contributes to this network by improving vascular flexibility and enhancing blood flow to working muscles. With better circulation, muscles receive more oxygen and nutrients, resulting in improved performance and reduced fatigue. This becomes especially important during resistance training or even routine physical activity such as walking or climbing stairs. Efficient nutrient delivery not only boosts strength in the moment, but also supports faster recovery and adaptation over time, helping older individuals maintain or even increase muscle function despite the effects of aging. In terms of bone strength, K2's activation of osteocalcin, a protein that binds calcium to the bone matrix, is essential for preventing fractures and maintaining skeletal support for the muscles. The relationship between bone and muscle is dynamic. Strong muscles pull on bones to generate movement, while strong bones provide the foundation needed to transmit force and bear weight. If either side of this relationship weakens, the entire system becomes compromised. Supplementing with K2 helps ensure that calcium is available where it's needed most, thereby reinforcing both bone density and the muscular leverage required for powerful, stable leg movements. This integrated support becomes increasingly important for fall prevention, as lower bone mineral density and diminished muscle control are two of the biggest risk factors for hip fractures and mobility loss in older populations. MK7, the most bioavailable and longest-lasting form of vitamin K2, is particularly effective due to its extended half-life in the body, allowing it to remain active in the bloodstream and tissues for longer periods of time compared to other forms. This makes it ideal for daily supplementation, with doses between 90 and 180 micrograms commonly used in studies showing benefits to both vascular and musculoskeletal health, while it works synergistically with vitamin D3 and magnesium. Its independent effects on mitochondrial activity and bone regulation make it a standout nutrient for older adults aiming to strengthen their legs and retain physical independence through targeted, science-backed nutritional support. Deficiencies in vitamins D3 and 12K2 are particularly common in adults over 60 due to a combination of physiological lifestyle and dietary factors that change with age. As people age, their ability to absorb, synthesize, or convert many essential nutrients decreases, making deficiencies not only more likely but also more impactful on health and physical performance. These deficiencies often go undetected for long periods because they're early symptoms. Fatigue, weakness, minor balance issues are frequently mistaken for normal aging rather than nutritional gaps that can and should be corrected. For vitamin D3, the primary source is synthesis through the skin via exposure to sunlight. However, aging skin becomes less efficient at producing D3 when exposed to UVB rays. On top of that, many older adults spend more time indoors or use sunscreen for protection against skin damage, further reducing their ability to generate adequate levels of this hormone like vitamin. Diet alone rarely provides enough D3 unless fortified foods or supplements are regularly consumed. The result is that a large percentage of adults over 60 are either insufficient or outright deficient in vitamin D3, with serious consequences for muscle strength, bone integrity, and neuromuscular coordination. In the case of vitamin B12, the absorption process becomes increasingly inefficient with age. B12 absorption requires stomach acid to release it from food proteins, and then intrinsic factor, a compound produced in the stomach, to bind with it for transport into the bloodstream. Older adults often experience a reduction in both stomach acid and intrinsic factor, making them vulnerable to malabsorption even if their dietary intake seems adequate. Furthermore, individuals who use antacids or proton pump inhibitors, which are common among this age group for managing reflux or ulcers, are at even greater risk of developing B12 deficiency. Vegetarians and vegans are particularly susceptible since B12 is found almost exclusively in animal-derived foods. This deficiency can lead to neurological problems, poor balance, leg weakness, and even cognitive decline if left unaddressed. Vitamin K2 deficiency is less obvious but equally prevalent. While K1 is abundant in leafy greens and supports blood clotting, K2 is mainly found in fermented foods and certain animal products, which are often consumed in low quantities by older individuals. Unlike some other nutrients, K2 is not typically included in multivitamins or common food fortifications, so even health-conscious seniors can be unknowingly deficient. This lack of K2 contributes to improper calcium metabolism, leading to calcium being deposited in arteries and joints rather than being directed to the bones. Over time, this can result in vascular stiffness, joint pain, and weakening of the skeletal system, all of which have direct effects on mobility and leg strength. When these three deficiencies occur together, which they often do, the impact on physical function can be dramatic. A person may find themselves less steady on their feet, more easily fatigued after walking short distances, or struggling with simple movements like rising from a chair or climbing stairs. These symptoms can be mistakenly attributed to muscle aging or lack of exercise, but in reality, they may stem from a biochemical environment that no longer supports optimal neuromuscular function. This creates a dangerous feedback loop where reduced activity leads to further physical decline, all while the underlying deficiencies remain untreated. Routine blood testing is rarely ordered for these nutrients unless symptoms are severe, specifically investigated, meaning many older adults remain unaware of their status. However, addressing these deficiencies can have rapid and noticeable effects. Supplementation protocols that correct D3, B12, and K2 levels often lead to improvements in energy, strength, coordination, and resilience. These changes can occur within weeks, particularly when combined with even light physical activity, demonstrating how essential these nutrients are for maintaining lower body strength and overall function in older populations. Supplementation with vitamins D3, B12, and K2 can significantly accelerate strength gains when combined with light resistance training, especially in adults over 60. While exercise alone is highly effective in preserving and enhancing muscle mass, the presence of specific nutrients plays a foundational role in how well the body responds to physical activity. Resistance training creates a stimulus that encourages the body to repair and build stronger muscles, but that process depends heavily on biochemical support from vitamins that govern energy production, nerve communication, coagulation, and tissue repair. Without these nutrients in sufficient supply, the body's response to training can be sluggish or incomplete, limiting both strength and functional improvements. Vitamin D3 is integral in facilitating muscle contraction through its role in calcium balance and nerve signal transmission. When combined with resistance exercises like squats, step-ups, or wall sits, D3 enhances the recruitment of fast twitch muscle fibers that are responsible for power and quick movements. This makes the neuromuscular system more efficient during strength training, allowing individuals to generate more force with each repetition. Moreover, D3 increases muscle protein synthesis by interacting with muscle cell receptors, meaning that the physical stress of exercise is more effectively translated into adaptive growth and repair. These processes contribute to improved muscle tone, faster strength development, and reduced soreness or injury risk after exercise. Vitamin B12 works in a different but complementary way. It enhances the communication between the brain and muscles by maintaining the integrity of motor neurons and the myelin sheath that surrounds them. During resistance training, fast and accurate nerve signals are essential for maintaining coordination and muscle control. Deficiency in B12 can lead to delayed muscle activation and a sense of clumsiness or instability, especially during movements that require balance or shifting weight from one leg to another. When B12 levels are optimized, the nervous system can more effectively coordinate the timing and force of muscle contractions, leading to smoother, more powerful movements and quicker reflexive responses during training. This directly translates to better exercise performance and faster functional gains. Vitamin K2, particularly in the MK7 form, supports muscle adaptation through its effects on bone health, vascular function, and mitochondrial energy production. K2 ensures that calcium released during resistance exercise is directed toward bone strengthening rather than accumulating in arteries or joints. This allows bones to adapt in tandem with muscles, improving the structural foundation that supports every movement. In addition, K2 enhances blood flow and energy availability to active muscles, enabling more efficient use of oxygen and nutrients during training. This is especially beneficial for older adults, whose muscles often fatigue faster due to reduced mitochondrial efficiency. By improving this internal energy economy, K2 helps individuals maintain higher intensity and volume during workouts, leading to quicker and more noticeable gains in strength and endurance. When all three vitamins are present in sufficient amounts, their combined effects on the musculoskeletal and nervous systems make the body more responsive to resistance training. Seniors who supplement appropriately often report feeling stronger, more stable, and more energized within weeks of beginning even basic exercise routines. Movements that once felt difficult become easier, and confidence in balance and mobility returns. These rapid improvements reinforce consistency, which is crucial for maintaining long-term strength and preventing the cycle of decline that often starts with inactivity. Supplementation in this context doesn't just support health. It amplifies the physical benefits of training, helping individuals make faster progress with fewer setbacks. This is particularly important for older adults who may have a limited exercise capacity or are just beginning to re-engage with physical activity after a period of sedentariness. Stronger legs are essential for reducing the risk of falls and supporting long-term independence in adults over 60, and targeted nutrition plays a key role in achieving and maintaining that strength. As individuals age, the natural decline in muscle mass and bone density, known as sarcopenia and osteopenia, becomes more pronounced. This deterioration affects the legs more than any other part of the body because they bear the brunt of daily movement, including walking, climbing stairs, rising from a seated position, and maintaining balance during unexpected shifts in terrain or posture. The loss of leg strength is not just a quality of life issue. It is one of the most predictive markers of future disability, hospitalization, and loss of autonomy in older adults. The connection between leg strength and fall prevention is grounded in neuromuscular control. When muscles in the thighs, calves, and hips weaken, the body becomes slower to respond to imbalance, less capable of absorbing impact, and more prone to instability. These deficits can be subtle, such as a slower gait or difficulty stepping onto a curb, but they quickly accumulate, leading to greater risk of missteps or loss of balance. In many cases, falls are not caused by external hazards, but by the body's inability to react quickly and powerfully enough to prevent a stumble from turning into a fall. Maintaining strong legs means preserving the ability to initiate a corrective step, stabilize the center of gravity, and recover from minor misalignments that would otherwise result in injury. Nutritional support through key vitamins like D3, B12, and K2 directly influences the physiological systems that control leg strength and postural stability. Vitamin D3 enhances the function of fast twitch muscle fibers, which are essential for quick reactions and balance recovery. It also supports the neuromuscular junctions where nerve impulses activate muscle contractions, allowing for quicker and more forceful responses during movement. B12 ensures that motor neurons transmit signals efficiently, reducing hesitation and promoting smoother, more confident movement patterns. K2 strengthens the skeletal structure and improves vascular function, giving the legs a stable base to generate force and receive nutrients needed for repair and endurance. These combined effects form a foundation upon which physical activity can rebuild strength and resilience. Functional independence in older age is highly dependent on leg strength because so many routine tasks require lower body engagement. Getting out of bed, using the restroom, preparing food, and leaving the house all require sufficient strength and control in the lower limbs. Without this capability, even cognitively intact individuals may become physically dependent, increasing their risk of social isolation, depression, and institutionalization. Preventing this outcome starts with preserving leg strength long before mobility becomes compromised. Consistent use of light resistance training, even for 115 minutes a day, can yield measurable improvements when paired with proper nutrient support. The psychological benefits of stronger legs also shouldn't be underestimated. As strength returns, confidence in one's body improves. Many older adults develop a fear of falling, which can itself lead to reduced activity, further weakness, and a greater actual risk of falls. Restoring physical capacity can reverse this downward spiral, allowing individuals to re-engage with activities they had previously avoided. Gardening, walking in the community, playing with grandchildren, or participating in group fitness. This creates a positive feedback loop where strength leads to confidence, which leads to more movement, which in turn builds more strength. Investing in leg strength through the strategic use of essential vitamins and manageable daily activity isn't just about muscles and bones. It's about freedom. It's about keeping control of one's life, being able to move without fear, and staying engaged in the world. Strength in the legs is strength in independence, and building that strength is well within reach.